you've heard new news about what's happened with EA and Valve, and because they've both done something that's illegal, breaching the laws of two different countries' gambling laws in relations to loot boxes. One was for Netherlands, which that was Valve, and the other one was for Belgium, which was EA. And as you can see here, EA said something at E3 which wasn't really true. So that's a thing. I want to talk about how both EA and Valve have responded to this news, this information, and what they've started to do because of it. EA, you probably heard of because they're the bigger ones. They practically started this whole controversy, so you might have caught up with how their FIFA has come under a bit of flack, and how they've essentially just said, we're not causing the problems, we don't authorize a way out for digital items or virtual currency for real-world money. So we're not pulling the trigger, so we're not guilty, is essentially what they're saying. There's no real value. There is, actually. That's why it's illegal. Even though they've said this, there's no real value assigned to the in-game items. There is. They're doing it, even as it says here, they're doing it just outside of what they're doing. But EA is allowing it by allowing them to get those goods. They're enabling this. They're not even taking any sort of actions to disassociate themselves from it or prevent those people from doing it, unlike Valve. At least Valve is. But the thing is, which is why their loot boxes are considered gambling, because there's a way for them to get money out of it through secondhand skin betting sites, right? So EA is essentially saying, we're not guilty, it's not gambling. So what has happened with CSGO, because that was the other thing for Netherlands, one of the couple games that I pointed out before when I said loot boxes are becoming illegal, my other video. CSGO and Dota were both attacked, and this is what it says. Now, if you read, it says, in May we got 2 letters from the Dutch stating that CSGO and Dota contain loot boxes which violate Dutch and betting and gambling laws. Legal consultants looked at recent studies and we learned more about the Dutch law. We still don't understand or agree to the legal conclusion, and we've responded to explain more about it. You say that, but I haven't heard any words until literally just now, where it's a day off. We have a threat. A threat. It's legal prosecution. It's not a threat. You broke the law. They gave you 8 weeks. They kept it hidden that your game was actually breaching the law. They didn't actually say this. You're saying this to us now, which is how we're finding out. They decided to keep it a secret what games were breaching the law, unless they wouldn't actually change the games within those 8 weeks, right? That's the agreement that they put out. And anyway, and so you're just being rude and saying, oh, they're threatening us, when it's actually legal action, then you're breaking the law. The letters don't tell us how to do that, but the study, it says take loot boxes out to confine with the law. It's as basic as that. But the study of loot boxes does contain one rather simplistic statement. Loot boxes contravene the law if the in-game goods from the loot boxes are transferable. Loot boxes do not contravene the law if the in-game goods from the loot boxes are not transferable. Yes, it did state that, because it's telling you to stop them from being transferable and they're not illegal, which is a simple workaround, which is really lazy, but they've clearly done it. So for now on, practical alternative is to disable trading and Steam Marketplace transfers for CSGO and Dota 2 items for the Dutch. This is only occurring for Dutch people because they're the only ones that have actually said that this is illegal and it's not okay. They're the only ones, even though, you know, everyone who's using it, playing these games are like, fuck loot boxes, except for those people that are turning it into a way to, means to get a profit, those greedy fuckers, you know, skin banning people and so forth. And we hope that after the engagement with the, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, they may refine their legal demands and we can find a solution that is less convenient. We apologize for the inconvenience. Why is it we apologize for the inconvenience? And yeah, someone else had a, maybe they just read out a paragraph here. But that is more convenient. They may refine their legal demands. It's like, oh my god, you whiny bitches. It's unbelievable how it's just so disgusting to read this. Their reaction to this, just in the last paragraph, is just so disrespectful and dismissive. It's a threat, or we're only disabling it for convenience and to apply to the laws, only for Dutch customers. And I'm starting to think that the EA people will respond in the exact same way, the exact same manner. So personally, I'm pretty fucked off at that dismissive way of addressing the problem, or quite addressing the problem, is very lazy, very greedy. They waited till the last minute of that deadline, well, the last day, I should say, specifically just because they wanted to make as much money from it as they could. That's their only reason. Like they're looking for as many loopholes as they can to just dodge the bullet on this one, to avoid responsibility, and it's just disgusting, really. No one wants. Everyone's sick of it, and you know everyone's going to do this. Is presenting a way to respond to this loot box regulation for every other company and industry in the industry out there, and I'm really not happy with it. It is kind of laughable because you know that this is just going to make things worse in the long run, that more and more people are going to be like, well, we don't want it, so we're going to look into it further, you know, maybe even make a new term to define this and what it is, because it's something and it's wrong. And the law does need to catch up, as Jim's really pointed out. So this would only really be building tensions between the government, because the government is just riding the wave, but the people who are playing the games are the ones that are having problems with it. And with all the controversies that's occurred, like large ones against the industry, this is probably the only one that I can think of where the actual gamers, the people that are buying and playing the game mainly, are the ones that are having such an issue with these controversies. So it's highly likely that the law will actually end up catching up and running away. Well, it is just running away, but eventually it's highly likely that this will go to other countries too. And, you know, a lot of flack will be received on that part, I think, in the long run. It's quite laughable considering, though, EA, when they were getting backlash from the people who were just playing the game, that they were saying they didn't like the loot boxes in Star Wars. They decided to take it out like about 3 times, and finally permanently taken out the way to get loot boxes, as well as Shadow of Mordor. Sorry, Shadow of War. Shadow of Mordor is good. Shadow of Mordor is fine. Shadow of War, that they taken it out. I don't know if they ended up taking it out. I can't remember when it was, whether it was June or July. Um, the loot boxes as well. Not because the law was telling them it's fucking illegal, you either get fined or go to jail, which for EA in Belgium, they are talking fucking jail time, like straight up. So they're probably just going to wait till the last day to take out skin trading. That's what I'm going to assume. Because they are fully guilty, and we both know that, even if they're saying, we're not the ones pulling the trigger, it wasn't us. Like, they're still going to get in shit because they're still allowing it. They're still responsible for what other people are doing because they're giving them the capabilities to do so. So they in turn share responsibility. So giving a murderer the gun, even though I don't really like to use those anagrams or whatever you call them, but you are sharing responsibility. And the fact that EA was willing to pull back worldwide because the fans were getting a bit annoyed, and then when it's like, it's fucking illegal, you'll be sent to jail for this. Like, I'm not lying about that jail time. It was actually announced for what the Belgian laws could get to. It said possibly, so it may not be jail time. It might just be a fine. And when that is the repercussion or the punishment, they're just like, yeah, no, we'll stand our grounds and say no to it. Although with Valve, it's starting to make sense that like they're only doing so because they know there's not much concern when they can just easily adjust the game and avoid it. And with only that one country. So my hopes is that other countries will follow suit. My concern is that they won't, and it will only affect a handful of countries like those ones, which are far from being the biggest countries in the market for games. So it's barely a blip on the radar for those game publishers, which is my biggest concern going forward. But I want to hear your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. I'll link all the sources as well that I showed off during this video down at the bottom, so you can all check that out and read it yourself.